Hi, my name is Mary Jane Garcia, and this is my writing assignment for Blackout Poetry. And I did my poem regarding feminism. So here's my poem. Voices emerge equally, composing goals and possibilities in a constructive act. Women vigorously enter in the atmosphere of talk. Competing voices, solving problems leads toward resolution. So, as you can see, I did mine revolving around the idea of feminism and about how women are trying to make their voices heard in this movement. So, why I chose this text? I chose this page out of the original book because of the language and the theme that was used throughout it. I thought that this text had very, very strong verbs, and those are definitely important to get the point across in really any body of writing. Um, and then I also just really liked the words that the original author had used, such as woman, possibilities, equally voices, constructive acts, etc. And I feel like the words that they used really helped shaped my idea of what I wanted to write about. I also wrote this poem because recently I've had material from another class on the top of my head. So right now I'm currently taking gender and communication, and they just study a variety of complex topics involving gender and how we were socialized to it and how we communicate in today's world. And then we recently just covered material regarding the rise and also the phases that feminism has experienced throughout our history. And since I've been currently learning about this, I just wanted to make my poem about it. And then I also decided to write my poem based off of this text just because I feel like I've always had limited creative juices. So I had no idea what I wanted to write about for my poem. I feel like I'm not very good at coming up with my own original ideas and kind of shaping them to life. But the original text kind of helped me with coming up with this idea because of the language that it used and yeah. So the process for my blackout poem. So the first thing that I did was just scan the text for words that fit my theme and underline them. It was really hard because at first I was reading the original text in the way it was supposed to be read, but as I continued to do that, I realized it wasn't helping me. I wasn't gaining any knowledge about this, and that's not what my goal was. My goal was to find words to create my own poem. So once I actually was able to scan them, I underlined them. And then with these underlined words, I kind of used them to form sentences with the pieces, kind of like a puzzle, just because it was hard to come up with, for me personally, sentences. So I had to like write them down in order to see them to make sure they made sense and repeat them out loud multiple times. So after I did that, I drew a border around the words that I chose to incorporate into my puzzle, and then I just blacked out any unused words that I didn't use, words that I did underline or didn't underline, just everything else so that my chosen words were on there and then I could get my point across. So for the next part, the importance of revision and word choice. Something that Blackout Poetry kind of made me consider was establishing tone for my poem. At So with these words, they do have an original definition that the original author meant for them to go by. But for the words I chose, I kind of turned them into something new by like manipulating the order in which they were presented in my text. And this really changed the meaning of them. And then also like the perspective on each of these words, because we were originally given a theme, and then I was able to reshape them to form something else. Something else that I considered was the imagery. So, like I said before, strong verbs are used a lot in order to get your point across. So I felt like the words like vigorously enter and competing voices were just details that I feel like the readers needed to hear in order to like evoke these emotions that I was trying to present. So these phrases kind of like establish the passion for the women feel who fight for these equal rights, and then also just how powerful their voices are and how they really need to vigorously enter into this atmosphere of talk in order to be taken seriously. Um, Another thing that I considered while doing this assignment was making mistakes and not being able to fix them. So, something really important about writing is revising them before they're finalized. But with blackout poetry, it's really hard because once you make a mistake, you either have to like move on and accept it and keep going, or you just kind of have to start over. And for me, I did have to start over. So it was just more work trying, and I really wanted this piece of paper for my poetry. So it was just kind of more steps trying to find the PDF online, and then printing it out just to start all over. I really considered that while doing this and how easy it is to alter text that you kind of unhappy with. So it's just important to consider all writing choices, no matter what piece of writing or literature that you're working on. So for my impressions and experiences portion, I didn't really have too many impressions off of this assignment. I felt very accomplished with it. But an experience that I had was when I was talking about this assignment to one of my peers that are in some of my other classes, and she got really excited. She told me that blackout poetry is kind of something that she does for fun, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to incorporate her examples that she's done in the past for previous classes or just because she enjoys it. And I really liked the illustrations that she involved in all of her pictures and her poetry. And I feel like it really sets the tone and the theme that you want your poetry to give to readers. That's definitely something that I feel like I would be interested in. And it was kind of cool to see someone's work who isn't in this class and who has fun doing it. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you for watching.